Stop overthinking. Oh my God. This one I love. Paralysis caused by overanalysis. This is the one. I've watched this in my real estate education. I'll meet a student of mine, go, Dean, I got your training. Oh my God, it was so good. As soon as I know every contract, as soon as I get those real estate terms down, as soon as I understand I can have the lingo and not feel bad when I'm on the phone or talking to somebody face to face, as soon as I, then I will do it. That's paralysis caused by overanalysis. Listen, I'm not telling you to, but think, okay, so I'm gonna digress here. Think about even the little, what do you call them, parables? I don't know, no it's not, like phrases we heard when we were young. Look before you leap. But then there's another one that says, he who hesitates loses. We're like, do I look? Do I jump? What do I do? Here's what I'm going to tell you from my personal experience. I wrote this down for you guys. Get guided action. Learn from those playing the game at the highest level possible. But do less thinking and more doing. I'm not saying, now, let me be very clear. I'm not talking about trial and error without the knowledge. Trial and error without knowledge is like running on a treadmill and turning it from 5 to 7. You're going faster, but you're not accomplishing anything. Learn from those who've already been there. Get a mentor. Learn from me if you want the stuff that I'm good at. If you want to lose weight, find the best weight loss person. If you want to get in shape, find the best getting you in shape person. Learn from them, take guided information, and then just take action. How many times, how long are you going to stand on the sidelines waiting for everything to be perfect? It's never going to be. It's never going to be the right time. It's never going to be a time when you're not scared. You have to find courage. Rob courage from the past, because I already know if you're watching me right now, you've already been courageous in the past. You already had stuff that scared the heck out of you and you still move forward. You already failed miserably and thought your life would never rebound, and it did. You've been courageous. Rob that courage from the past and take action today. Implement that courage into the present. In relationships and business. So I wrote, so obtain the knowledge you need to build confidence. But then don't get bogged down in endless questions, second thoughts, and circular analysis. If your heart is telling you to act, if your subconscious is telling you to go for it, stop overthinking and start taking action. How many places in that area, how many areas of your life does that apply? Start taking action. Start failing. Start figuring out what not to do if you have to. Learn from your action. Get in the game. You can't score a touchdown in the game of life if you're on the sidelines thinking, well, if they have the ball, should I play defense or should I play offense? I don't know, should I be a wide receiver or should I be I'm using football analogies and I don't even know football that well, but should I be a lineman or maybe a quarterback? Or maybe I should play tomorrow's game because I'll be more prepared tomorrow. You know, I should read up tonight on how to play football at the best level. In fact, I have a friend that's really good at football. I see him in about a month. So when I see him, I'll ask him. And then maybe I could play a game. Well, by then, the season will be over. So maybe I could start next season. You know what I'll do? I'll eat better and I'll start working out. So by the time next season comes, I'll be in better shape and I'll have worked out and I'll have eaten better. And then I'll have read that book and I'll talk to my friend. And next season will be perfect. Next season. But see how life goes? That's what we can do. That's overthinking. That's paralysis caused by overanalysis. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. A lot of times that's just your subconscious wimping out and giving you excuses to push off your courage to take action. You know when you should take action? Now. Not tomorrow, not next month, not next year. Now. Okay. We having fun here? Let me know if I'm doing all right here. Thanks, guys. Albie, Lisa, everybody who's leaving messages, I appreciate it. I'm trying not to get too distracted here, but give me your messages. Okay. Focus on a positive outcome. I love this section. I'm going to read a couple of this is a powerful way to bring happiness into your life and get what you want in advance. So, what's the alternative? Okay, these are notes I took last night when I was going through this for you. So I'm going to read this. One day may feel a little rundown. Talking about getting sick. One day you might feel a little rundown and conjure up the worst case scenario. What if I'm really getting sick? What if it's the flu? I never got a flu shot. What if I have an illness that could kill me? I don't have health insurance. Man, I'm in trouble. Guess what? People like this literally can talk themselves right into getting sick, right into panic, right into worry. Why not put all the energy into focusing on a positive outcome and perfect health and more wealth and happiness and abundance? See, we have a tendency, and I don't know if we're programmed this way. I don't know if it's a defense mechanism or we evolved as humans this way, but we have a tendency when something goes wrong, we have a tendency to think the worst of it. How could this go worse? What could happen here? Again, I feel I got a little cough. Oh, I got the flu. You could talk yourself right into being sick. You could talk yourself right into thinking your spouse or your relationship doesn't love you. You could get yourself talking into that your people at work don't like you. Or that, I mean, anything. We can talk ourselves. I want to read a couple things in here. When something comes up in your mind, we immediately want to go to, oh no, this isn't good. What if this happens? Or what if that happens? Or gosh, what if that happens? The antidote, become a keen observer of your thoughts. I used to focus on, I wanted to tell you a story that I had. I don't know if you ever have done this, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, it still happens, but I used to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and this is something I want you to think about called a success trap. So a success trap is when something is working even though it's not benefiting your life, right? So success trap for me in my 20s and 30s, a lot of times I'd wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like someone flipped the switch on. It's probably my cortisol spiking too early, right? Wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden I'd start thinking of all the things that could go wrong in my business and my life. And I'd go, oh God, if that doesn't work. And then I'd think through it obsessively. Like, do you ever think about a problem when you're in the middle of the night and then you get done thinking through it and then you think about it again? And like, why is it back in my brain? Why is it back in my brain? But here was the problem. I would do that many nights. Some nights not go back to sleep. Other nights 2 or 3 hours thinking about the problem, come up with solutions, write them down. And then simultaneously, my business was growing. My life was growing. I was making more money, finding more abundance. So it was a success trap. I thought to myself, hey, maybe that 2 o'clock in the morning stress fest is part of your success. You won't be successful without it. That's where you solve the problems. And I realized that was a huge lie. It was just me focusing on negative outcomes. And literally, you know what shifted it? It literally took months. Just so you know, I'm not saying I did this overnight and everything was perfect and I was zen and I slept all night. No, over months, if I woke up, I'd immediately replace those thoughts on what could go right. It took a while because I'd be like, no. But if that deal goes through and I get those houses or I write that book, then this will happen and I'll affect more people's lives. And then I kept trying to loop all the positive stuff. And guess what happened while I was looping it? I fell asleep. I trained myself to do that. But I know my brain wanted to go with what's wrong. My brain wants to go to, listen, I'd love to be the guru that says, every time something comes up, I observe the thought and I go down the perfect path every time. No, I screw this up all the time. I'll find myself to this day, even though I'm obsessed with observing my thoughts, to this day, I will find myself, something go wrong. I'm like, wow, and I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? You're going down the path of what could go wrong. It doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't Now, is it good to be cautious and understand the pitfalls? If you're walking into a burning building, you want to understand what could go wrong. But it doesn't serve you in most cases. What serves you is focusing on where you want to go, focusing on the positive outcome, and spend your energy going there. You know, I wrote a note here. I talk about my buddy Trent Shelton in the book, and Trent's an amazing guy. If you're not following him on Facebook, you should. Ex-football player, and I love his story. To paraphrase it and go really quick, he played football since like 5 years old. And everybody told him, that's great you're playing football, but, making it to college, that's really hard. Nobody makes it to college. And he had to overcome all the people saying, you're not going to make it. And 1 out of 100,000 players make it. So he does great when he's young. He does great in high school. He goes to Baylor Baylor University, I think. Yeah. And he's one of the top players at his school. And all of a sudden, after everybody told him he couldn't get in college, now he gets drafted to the NFL and he's playing with Peyton Manning on the Colts. Think about that. And he plays, now he's in the NFL. Everybody told him he couldn't, he made it there. And after 5 years, he gets cut. And he tries another team, and he gets cut. Tries another team, gets cut. And all of a sudden, his whole life came crashing down. His whole life, I want to share one piece in here if I find it. His whole life, he was focused on this positive outcome of being in the NFL and being great and showing the world and showing everybody who told him he couldn't do it. And being, being all the work it took to get there, and all of a sudden he's just out. Same time, his roommate commits suicide when he's thinking of the same stuff, when he's doing some habits that weren't so good for him, when he's spiraling out of control, his roommate kills himself. All of a sudden, he was left with, what do I do at this moment? Am I the ex-football player loser? Or have I been given a gift from God? Am I someone who could focus on another positive outcome? I focused on the NFL positive outcome. I got it, but then it failed. Do I just give up because that's the only positive outcome that's in my life? Is that it? I mean, sometimes it takes something so traumatic to make an impact. Well, that's what it took for him. And he just realized, he's like, God put me on this earth for other things more than just football. That was my positive outcome until it wasn't anymore. Now I could sit and stare at it for the rest of my life and say, I'm the guy that used to. I'm the guy that almost. I'm the guy that did play for Peyton Manning, but now I'm... No, he found a new positive outcome to focus on and how he could positively affect people's lives. Because of his friend committing suicide, he created rehab time, and he started sharing inspirational messages. Now every week, 50 million people see his videos. 50 million people. He found a new positive outcome because the old one wasn't working anymore. How many of us get stuck once the thing that was our supposed future, our supposed positive outcome, once that's done, we're done. When we can just learn from it, feel it. I'm not saying push the pain away, feel it, but how long are you going to live in it? How long do you want to, bathe in the negativity when you could say, feel it, but then create a new positive outcome? Trent's no more special than anyone watching. I'm no more special. Anybody, most successful people I've ever met just use these little hacks, these little secrets. These are the rules to success. Most people don't have them. You're having access to them. All right, you guys doing good? What's going on, guys? Okay, let's go to let go of specific outcomes. That's number 5 in my book. I love this one. So many times in life, we have an outcome in advance that we think is, if it's not this, then it's not. It didn't serve me. I want that promotion. I want that business. I want that girl. I want that guy. I want that house. And you set this expectation up. You have the outcome already programmed in your future. You're jumping ahead, right? You're jumping ahead into the future. You're jumping ahead there. And then it doesn't go that way, and it's like, I knew I wasn't going to get this. I knew I wasn't going to get the promotion. I knew that business would fail. I knew that relationship wouldn't work. What about not holding on to specific outcomes? Ooh, does that sound a little scary? What if you desire it, you manifest it, you fantasize about it, you place yourself a year in advance looking back and you know what it feels like, but what if you knew that you are being guided because you're going in the right directions? I'll tell you 2 quick things. One, think about it this way. I love what Tony Robbins says here. What if life happened for us, not to us? Would you look at every circumstance in your life different if you truly believe that life happened for you, not to you? Would you look at life differently? Think about going down the river, and you want to go down this one river. You want to go down, and nothing should get you off path. But what if you just kind of pulled the oars in, and as you were going down the river you thought you wanted to be in, all of a sudden it diverted you down a side river, and it took you to the place that you were supposed to be without realizing. And Dan Sullivan, one of my mentors from Strategic Coach, calls that a strategic byproduct. That's something, whether you're watching this live, you do a replay, stop this, write it down, remember that word, strategic byproduct. Set your goals, set your intention, know what direction to point your ship. Stop doing the things that don't serve you, God, the community, the bigger future, a bigger version of you, more money. Say no to the things that are holding you back. Yes, got you out of Egypt. No, will take you to the promised land. But think about the strategic byproduct is that you're going down the river. You're going towards your goal, but something bigger comes out of it that you didn't even realize was going to happen. So I wanted to be a real estate investor because the only people in my town that had money were real estate investors, and I was broke, and I heard some people say you could do no money down. My goal and vision in life was to be a real estate investor, to do a deal a month, to be the best real estate investor on the planet. That was my goal, to have control of my life, to make more money, to take care of my family. But along that goal, some cool strategic byproducts came. I realized when I cracked the code in real estate, I wanted to teach other people. Never knew I was going to be a teacher. Never knew I was going to share what I was doing. I didn't create it so I could share it. I created it out of necessity. Then I went on to be one of the top, if not the top real estate trainer in the world. And then I realized while I was there is I could give people the best real estate skills in the world, but if they don't have what between their ears right, nothing works. So then I wrote Totally Fulfilled, personal development, New York Times bestseller. I obsessed and did weekly wisdoms on getting in here. And then I started fine-tuning and searching out the most successful people in the world and modeling what they do and modeling their habits. Then I became one of the top success trainers. I want to know what makes you tick. I wrote Millionaire Success Habits, one of the greatest breakout books on the planet. I can't believe the success of this book. All of that happened because I wanted to do real estate, but I wasn't set. I didn't go, no, I'm not going to be a trainer. I want to get to real estate. Like, don't be so set on specific outcomes. Be open to the strategic byproducts, but strategic byproducts only open up when you're on the path to your next level. Sitting on the sidelines, it doesn't work. If you're not in the game, there's no byproducts. There's just you missing another opportunity.